I was like, I'm with Call of Duty. I'm nasty. I've been nasty for a long time. You guys have to understand. When SAG talks, you need to listen, especially when it comes to video games, especially when it comes to the Call of Duty franchise, because your boy's been putting in hours all the way back since Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare. Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Glitch, aka Sag. Today I'm bringing you some Call of Duty Modern Warfare domination gameplay on the map Piccadilly. And this is a recording that happened 2 weeks ago. Uh, on this particular day, I had a very rough day at work. My students were not being the best that they could, but we're all going to have days like that. For you guys who aren't teachers, and have normal jobs, which teaching is normal, but for you guys that have like maybe an office job or you bag groceries or whatever it is that you do for work, don't you just have those days that you hate, that you just have a really crappy day at and just can't seem to shake it? And then things pile up on you, stress you out even more, and then you finally hit your breaking point. Well, this kind of happened to me a couple weeks ago, where you know I tend to treat each class like their own entity. I don't like to bring in I don't like to bring in a bad attitude from former classes or a bad attitude from people who aren't in a particular class, but we're all human and we make mistakes. Period. So on this day, my last period, which is pretty awesome period. I mean, it's at the end of the day. Think about when you were back in school, or if you're still in school. Think about how it is that you feel at the end of the day. You're done. You want to, just go home. You want to blow off the last class. And things happen just like in a job. The last 15 minutes, the last 30 minutes, the last hour, things can seem to drag on if you allow them to. On this particular day, my kids just there were a couple of things that set me off. Nothing in particular. There were just a couple of things, and I kind of just lost my cool. Now, no one was harmed. No one was crying. No one was upset, except for me. But at the same time, something needed to be addressed. But then this particular day led to me coming home wanting to blow off steam, and this is the result that I got. You guys are, I know we're way into the video, but you guys are going to see a massive kill game, and I am sitting here dropping this little cruise missile on, and I've told you guys about it. If you're going to use it, I told everyone that I know who's trying to get better, trying for big kills, you have to get, for your second perk, you have to get kill chain. And this thing is just awesome. This PKM is nasty. Stopping power, I'm using as my specialist perk, and I am just going to go off in this game. And kill chain, the reason why I run kill chain is it allows you to get kills that count towards your next kill streak while it does its business. So for a chopper gunner, I just need 10 kills, but as you can see, my cruise missile led into my VTOL. My VTOL is going to lead into my chopper gunner. Um, but back in it. So I was sitting here, I was going off and just had a really rough day, and I came home to play video games, which you should play video games for enjoyment. You should play video games to relax. You should play video games to pass the time. Video games literally mean to me so much that allow me to help my stress. They help my anxiety. They help with a lot of things that I probably couldn't get help with outside of video games. Uh, I mean, to the point where I have a tattoo on my wrist that represents the PlayStation buttons that with a lifeline beside it. But I was sitting here and I was thinking, no matter what I do, I need to always make sure and understand that people are human, and I have a high expectation both of myself in games and outside of games, and I'm also have high expectation of people that I come in contact with, especially if they're friends or especially if they're my students. I want the best for them, but at the same time, they have to understand there's going to be times where they need to come up and step up without being told what to do. But I was explaining to my students, I'm previous athlete. I don't live in the past. I just know what I am capable of and what I'm not capable of. I'm a not necessarily a pro gamer, semi-pro gamer. I'm just a gamer that knows that is understanding of his limitations in the system and outside the system. And I keep telling my kids, it doesn't matter. Like certain students who are athletic, I know what I can do against them. I know what I can't do, and I like to challenge them. I like to make them laugh. I like to make them think, and I challenge them personally to prove something to me. And so when I was telling my kids the other day, um, I was like, I'm with Call of Duty. I'm nasty. I've been nasty for a long time. You guys have to understand when SAG talks, you need to listen, especially when it comes to video games, especially when it comes to the Call of Duty franchise. Because your boy's been putting in hours all the way back since Modern Warfare, the original. And I've been putting in hours upon days and weeks of time on these games. And when I finally figure out what works, I stick to it. I like my bread and butter. And so I was sitting there telling my students, and they're like, "Oh, whatever, Sag, whatever." They don't call me Sag, but they're sitting there, "Oh, Sag, yeah, no, we don't believe you. Whatever you say, man." They don't seem to believe your boy when he tells them, "Hey, no matter the game, I'm better than you." So, they were sitting here doubting me this, saying this and that, and so finally, I said, enough's enough. With 5 minutes left to go, of class one day, I decided to take out my computer. I loaded the video was loaded all the way up to the end, and I showed them the stats from this game. And at that point in time, all the skeptics that were there were like, "Wait a second, you did that?" And their attitude completely changed. It was a good feeling to say, "Hey, I'm not lying to you. I'm proving to you that I'm a gamer, and I come in, I do the work that I need to. I'm a blue collar gamer. I do what it is that's necessary, and then I leave." And my students don't seem to understand that. But when you go 39-7, although it's not the best record that's out there, I had 4 captures, 4 defense. This is a double chopper gunner gameplay. And the fact is that I'm not using some cheap game, some cheap tactics to just sit in the corner and camp. But yeah, I mean, certain people like to camp, certain people like to run and gun. I'm typically the guy that runs and guns, but every now and then I like to blow myself up as well, apparently. Um, but if that's how you like the game, that's how you like the game. It is what it is. But yeah. So some days, basically the reason why I'm telling this is some days you guys are gonna have days at work or days at home that aren't the best, but this gaming and hanging out with friends and making making friendships over online and then getting to know one another over the years. And gaming's a release. It's not a lifestyle. It's not, well, it is a lifestyle, but it's not anything and everything there is in the world. Basically, take it as it is. Enjoy life, both inside and outside the gaming world. Allow this to be a release for you guys, and don't keep everything bottled in. There are a lot of downfalls to gaming, but there's also more upside than there is negative. So stay positive, stay focused, play the games that you want, and most of all, don't ever second guess your boy when he tells you that he's massive and awesome at this game. So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna let it play out. Make sure to leave a like if you did. Comment if you want to subscribe if you haven't. If you haven't checked it yet, peek the end to see what your boy's stats were, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching the video as always, and peace.